Welcome to my channel, Custom Scrapbook Design by Christy Stubbs, and welcome to another installment of my Scrappin Saturday series. If you're new to my channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on all of my installments every Saturday to my Scrappin Saturday series. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. This week I am working with the collection Boho Sunshine by Simple Stories, and I've already opened it up. I've got the sticker sheet on top here, and I've got the collection kit is what's in front of me with all of the different papers and the sticker sheet, and then I also have the pack of ephemera to work with. So all of these items are available on my website, and I will link those below. And we need to do a layout. So I have picked a couple pictures of my son and my beautiful daughter-in-law, and I am going to scrap these this Saturday. So I just need to find a base page. I really don't have a plan, as per usual with me, you guys. Those of you who watch me, you know I start out basically with nothing in mind and try and just come up with a quick layout. So I really like the shirt that she has on here, and I think I'm going to use the B side of this page to kind of mimic that shirt just a little bit. And well, maybe I was thinking I wanted to use this smile happy looks good on you, because I just liked that for these pictures because they both have such great smiles. Or let's see what else we've got here within this collection. Got the 4x6 cut aparts. We've got some 3x4 elements here. This Be Happy is a good one. Let's see what else we've got. There's sunshine on the back of that one. We've got flowers on the back of that one, smiley faces, and oh, we could go with the yellow polka dots instead. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll use some of the words here. Happy love, good vibes, grow and bloom. Maybe we'll use those two. We've got sunshine on that one. We've got tags here. Those are super fun. Back side of the tags. Lots of bright, vibrant colors in this collection. The butterflies. Got the cut aparts, the journaling bits, and then the floral. I don't know, I'm leaning towards maybe putting these three together. Not sure what we're going to do with them yet. It's a little busy. I think maybe we'll work with these 4 sheets here. And let's grab the 4x6 cut apart again and see if that will work with what we've got here. And I'm not even 5 minutes in and can't find what I'm looking for. Let's see. Okay. Must have flipped it over. Yep, there we go. Okay, so this would coordinate with all of that. So we're going to go ahead and cut this, the cut aparts apart here. Okay, so I think we'll use that. And I think we're going to use this floral as the base page. So we're going to go ahead and trim off the branding strip. And then I think we're going to run a piece of this down the center. All right, so we've got the two photos I want to fit on there. And then this cut apart. So I need to figure out exactly how those are going to go on there. And maybe we won't use this because it goes the same direction as well. I kind of would like something maybe going a little bit of a different direction. So we're going to set that aside. And I think what I'm going to do is, boy, that's some bright paper. But all right, can't decide. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut this at a bit of an angle. And I'm not measuring or doing anything fancy. I'm just kind of setting it in my cutter crooked. And we're going to line that up along the bottom edge of the paper here. And I'm thinking I want to mat those and put them something like that. Maybe I don't need as many papers as I originally thought. And then maybe we'll just add some of the ephemera pieces. Kind of tucked in behind the photos. And I will mat the photos too, so I'll have to find a color to mat the photos on. Just kind of play around a little bit like that. I think we'll go ahead and do that. We'll mat the photos. And I am going to ink, of course. If you follow me at all, you do know that I love to ink my papers. So I'm going to use my vintage photo. And we're going to just do a quick, somewhat heavy ink around this paper just because it's white, so that that ink will really define the edges of that nicely and kind of soften that white a little bit up against that floral background. So we'll go ahead and ink that up good. Oops. Okay. And let's go ahead and adhere that down. Get that lined up good. There we go. So now I think, what color Or should we mat those pictures? I think we're going to mat them and then also put them on this as a background on here. This will be something like that. So I think maybe we will pull a blue. I'm going to pull kind of a royal blue to mat the photos on. Okay, so here's a good royal blue, and I'm not going to trim these photos. This one's so close up, there's really nowhere to trim besides maybe some of the shirt, and I kind of like the background colors in this one, and I want the pictures to be the same size as well. So we're going to leave them both whole and put those down on the blue. And I just try and get equal distance on the edges. And then I only have to trim 2 of those edges. All right. Get those matted, and then I think, like I said, we're going to put that down on the yellow as well. Okay, that looks good. And then I think we'll have just a little bit wider edge on the yellow. Get some adhesive on that, and then again, I'm just going to try and get it the same distance, and you could measure this if you wanted to. Same distance from side reveal and bottom reveal. And then the next photo, I'm going to kind of have that same distance in between as well. And then the bottom reveal matched as well. And then we're going to try and get that same distance along the top and along the side. So that's what we've got with those matted. Now I think I'll go ahead and ink the edges of this yellow because I want to kind of soften those up a little bit for the background. And if it's your first time watching me, I do use a little cutting mat from the dollar store. I picked up a bunch of them. I probably have a half a dozen of them laying around my scrapbook room. They're really nice for using when you ink. I don't know what kind of dauber you use, but the kind that I use tends to and this mat just catches all of that. I put it under wherever I'm inking so that I can kind of contain that bit of mess. You can kind of see that on there a little bit, but that's the reason I actually like to use that. So there's the start of the layout, and I think we're going to take a couple of these tags and use some of them. Maybe we'll do this love you. I wanted to kind of do one down in the corner, but it's white. We'll cut it out and take a look at it there, or we may use the one next to it that says, "You Are My Sunshine." I may possibly use that one instead. So we're just going to cut out a few of these tags and see just which one it is we want to use on this layout. So I'll stop there. And we'll take a look at this. It might be enough to just ink the tag, and then maybe it'll show up well enough with just doing that. Let's take a peek. Yeah, I don't like it. I think that it blends in a little too much. So let's go ahead and maybe try the "You Are My Sunshine" one. And see how that one looks down in the corner there. I do like that one better. So let's go ahead and cut those angles. And it looks like I need to just trim a sliver off the top. And then I do have the hole punch. I'm going to go ahead and punch that, and then I'm also going to add, lots of times I don't add an eyelet, but I am going to add one to this. Sometimes I tend to pull my ribbon through a little bit tight and end up pulling it all the way through the tag. So we're going to go ahead and put the eyelet in, and I like to use my crocodile. I didn't punch that hole in exactly center, but that's all right. The ribbon will hide that fairly well, and you won't even notice that. But I think that that's going to look all right there. And inking it will help it kind of pop up just a little bit more even. So we'll go ahead and ink all those edges real good. Maybe we'll set that to the side a little bit. Make a little more room for the tag rather than trying to center it. And then I do think that I want to take another tag or two, and let's just kind of take a look. I'm kind of looking at the back side of these tags, and I think, let's get one cut and take a look at what I'm thinking, and I'll show you. Kind of thinking I might do a tag or two just tucked behind and just use the top part of it. So the rainbows would be pretty up there as well. Let's take a look at that one. So I think we'll kind of layer a couple tags like that. And then we can add, and maybe we'll swap these with the rainbow so that the rainbow tag is the one over here. And kind of layer them like so. You can do a little bit of journaling right there. And I think we'll pop that rainbow up on some foam tape. And then I still have these flowers that I had pulled a little bit earlier, just kind of looking at this. And I think we'll go ahead and ink those flowers and layer a few of them along the side. And maybe we'll even stick one down in this corner and possibly one kind of popped out behind the tag there. And I think I like the way that this looks just like this. I don't know that I necessarily need to add anything else to it. So let's ink all of this stuff. We may add a little butterfly. I love butterflies. So we could potentially add one of these colorful butterflies to the bottom as well. I'll have to pick which one. We'll ink all of this, and I think that that is going to be it for this layout. I've got a heart here as well. They're pretty small. I don't know that I'll use it. I think that's gonna work. So I'm gonna go ahead and ink all this. I'm gonna add a eyelet to the other two tags as well, and I'll grab some ribbon for those, and we'll finish this layout up. Okay, so I think we're ready to start putting everything down. I am going to use some foam tape. That'll be a nice little touch to have a couple of the ephemera pieces up a little higher, add a little dimension to the layout. I always like to add a little dimension. It does make your scrapbooks a little bit bulkier, so if you don't want to add that bulk, don't use the foam tape. And I always add a little wet adhesive when doing my foam tape. I do tend to pick mine up quite often at the dollar store, and I just don't trust the long-term adhesion of it, so I like to add just a little bit of wet glue to it as well, and then that way I have no worries about whether or not it's going to hold. And I better start by putting down our photos here and get those in place. And I'm only going to gently set that in place because, again, if you follow me, you are fully aware of the fact that I tend to move stuff around quite regularly. I set it and then end up resetting it at least a couple times. I think I'm going to lift this up on foam as well. I think that that would be another good piece to be lifted, and I'm going to use quite a bit of foam tape because I don't want it to sink in or cave in any areas, so I'm going to just run quite a few pieces of the foam tape the length of the tag to make it pretty solid. I think that will be plenty to hold it. So we've got our picture in place. That's going to be where that'll set. That'll set there. We'll add a little tape to these and tuck them under. And this one I do want to leave up higher because I think I'll do just a little bit of journaling right in that top area there. And then this one I'm going to tuck all the way up to the rainbows. We're going to just hide all of that white spot and put the rainbows directly against it. And that's a good spot for that. And then I think we will leave this flower flat. And we're going to kind of tuck that coming out from behind the tag like so. And I think we're just going to leave these flat as well because the elements both above and below it are already on the foam. So I think these would be better off just laying flat. And I'm tucking most of the leaves back behind there. Like so. I'm not sure if I want that straight or kind of at an angle, possibly. And then I did do a couple flowers. I did the 2 coordinating flowers down below, and I'm thinking we're going to pop this one up on some foam. And I do have some skinny foam tape, so I'm going to try and run it out onto the petals. We'll see if I can do that and still hide the tape. And we'll put a couple more little pieces, try and hold most of those petals up. Otherwise, with the weight of the pages in the book, they're just going to get squished down. So if we can lift them up, that'll work better long term. They might stay up for a while, but once they get in your book, they'll get flattened out without that foam tape behind it. And this tape seems to be just skinny enough to be able to do that. We'll make sure we don't have any poking out when I turn it over. This one here might be the skinny one. Okay, let's see what we got when we flip that over. That looks pretty good. So we're going to stick that one on the corner like so, and tuck this one underneath. And then we'll just add the butterfly like so. All right, so let's go ahead and get all of this hooked down now. And I do, when I can remember to do it, add the wet adhesive to both sides of that tape. It's kind of tricky getting this backing off. Oops. There we go. A little dab of wet adhesive on all of those. There. Just use the tape runner on this little one and tuck it under. We'll go ahead and put down this tag. I kind of think I want to lift this up. I know it's going to be right next to that tag that's already lifted, but I feel like it doesn't quite look right flat. So we're going to go ahead and add some tape to the butterfly. Lift it up as well. I'm going to let that dry. And let's go ahead and put this rainbow down. And I do think I like it kind of at an angle. I'm not one for lining stuff up real straight generally. I tend to kind of place everything just a little bit cockeyed, because that way, when you're placing stuff straight, if you get it off just a little bit, it is highly noticeable. And I have a hard time getting stuff straight, so I tend not to put things on straight. Or if I do, I generally will need a ruler and spend a lot of extra time doing it. And that's just not my style usually. Whoa. All right. Finishing touch of the butterfly. Let's stick that little butterfly right there. And let's just take one last look at what else I've got in this little tray. I've got these cute little mushrooms too. Oh, green on green. Don't want that. Or these smiley faces. Or more flowers, butterflies, some peace signs in there, a couple real small hearts, and they're real small. They're too small. Let's see. That's the wrong color. I think we might just need to be done and not worry about adding any more. Yep, we are done. I like the way that that looks. I'll add a little journaling to that tag right there. Not much. I don't think it needs a whole heck of a lot, but it's a nice, bright, sunshiny layout. And again, I did use the Boho Sunshine collection from Simple Stories. I will link it down below. I hope you enjoyed this layout. And if you're new to my channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you can be notified every Saturday when I upload another installment to my Scrappin Saturday series. Thanks so much for sticking with me. Have a fabulous Saturday, and I hope you find a little time to create today. Bye for now.